Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Synergy. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about 25 bucks or so. When I stress early access, that means everything that you're about to see is most definitely subject to change. So according to the Steam store page, this game describes itself as a relaxing city builder where humanity must adapt to the ecosystem in a strange world. Explore and analyze your environment. I don't know if I would call it relaxing, just because there's a lot going on here. The tutorial does hold your hand bit by bit, but this game was actually a lot more complex and deep than I originally thought it was going to be. So I don't know if I would call it a relaxing game, but there it is. There is a campaign mode, there's free play, there's different scenarios. So you can choose a variety of different ways to play, although in the free play mode, there's not a whole lot of like slider options. It's just either choose creative mode or choose original mode. So I was kind of disappointed by the lack of customization options there. Now, the art style is probably what this game has going for it. It presents itself in a very cartoony-like way, and it's actually quite nice. I'm really enjoying it. It's got a mix of like Banished and Frostpunk in the sense that, you're trying to keep your civilization alive, your little town alive by constructing various buildings. And I kind of compare it to Frostpunk because there's a nature element to Frostpunk where the cold is trying to constantly kill you. Well, the threat in this game really is like dwindling water supplies. So the very first thing you learn to do is, make clean water out of toxic water, and different weather will have different effects on water consumption, that kind of thing. So it's kind of similar to Frostpunk, but it's also got that whole, kids get born and then once they grow up into adults, they actually join the workforce. A lot of other games do that too, but I kind of see some similarities there. But yeah, primarily you're going to be constructing, various structures in order to support your population. However, what makes this game a little different is it's kind of like an investigation kind of game too, where you're presented with different flora in the environment, like trees and branches and bushes with fruit on them. And then you build this research building, and then you can go out and like research these flora to see what they're capable of giving you. And this tree, if you cut it down completely, it might give you this. If you trim it, which is a separate action, it might give you this. If you harvest it with your bare hands, it might give you this. And certain flora will give you both positive and negative outcomes depending on the action that you do. You're going to build these special harvesting huts. You tell the harvesting hut, you dedicate it to pruning or cutting, trimming, whatever it's called. And then you select which items you want to prune or trim. And then you get those resources. So you're going to build multiple like harvesting huts, assign it a specific task, whether it be trimming or just taking it out of the ground completely, that kind of thing, or hand picking it. And you're going to select the objects and get them. So you're going to get different resources depending on the actions you take on the flora in the environment. And again, there's an investigative element to that. There's also, as you would expect from a residential type game where you're building houses, you have to worry about their happiness, and there's an area of effect for a lot of these buildings. You have to try and keep them happy. You're also going to be creating districts, and you have to keep the people happy in their districts by building various structures. There's also a research tree. At some point, you unlock the research tree, and you're going to unlock new ways to investigate the environment. Like, you won't be able to get all of the tree options in the beginning. You can cut them down and that's it. But over time, you learn to extract fluids from them. You also will eventually learn how to build a like exploration hut, which is similar to the one in Frostpunk, where you send people out into the environment onto the world map, and then they go investigate things and bring things back. So you're eventually going to learn how to do that too. Unfortunately, once I got to that world map step, my frames per second just tanked. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden my game just decided to have a stroke. And then I got like 1 or 2 frames per second. I had to save and then quit. It was just awful. It was tying up my entire computer. Like something was going on with it, and it was just completely slowing everything down. So the optimization isn't there. I'm guessing, the more population you have, the worse it's going to get, kind of thing. But I don't know what it is with that world map. But as soon as I went into the world map and then I came back to my city, my frames per second just tanked. So at this price tag, I'm kind of like wary about it. 25 bucks is kind of expensive for this kind of game right now, despite how deep and complex and how put together it is. I just don't think it's a $25 game right now, but when it's done, it probably will be, assuming that all of the kinks get ironed out. But yeah, take a look at Synergy rather. It's an interesting game. It's just, I don't know. I would let it cook for a little bit more before coming back to this one. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.